I'm just going to start with the questions that we have. The first one is on my list somewhere. Where is your selected pilgrimage site? So the place that I decided to go was England. They have so many beautiful cathedrals that have been made that I found the architecture of all of them very fascinating, and it's something I would really like to go and see. And while I was there, looking at places in England, I saw that there is actually a trail called Pilgrims Way, and it starts in Winchester at the Winchester Cathedral, and it leads you to Canterbury to go to the Canterbury Cathedral. So that is why I picked England. Why did you select the pilgrimage site? Okay, so I pretty much just answered that one. Yeah, I have a lot of family history from England, so I also think that that would be kind of interesting, is to see what was life like in England. And I know that my family was very religious, so kind of seeing maybe a journey that some of them had gone on, I think would be really cool as well. What is the spiritual and historical significance of your pilgrimage site? This pilgrimage actually became popular 2 years, I believe, after Thomas Becket's murder. He was made a saint by the Catholic Church, and so started so that they could go and see his burial site. How many miracles or other significant religious events take place at this pilgrimage site? I didn't read or hear anything about miracles that took place. I believe the spiritual significance is the fact that as you are going on this pilgrimage, you are actually able to go through so many towns that had cathedrals made. And while you're on your journey, you're just met one after another with places to stop and pray and rest and feel like you're being spiritually fed as you are there. So I could completely see why that would be spiritually refreshing. Each town you come to, you can continue to... Hello everyone, my name is Bethany Edwards, and I am working on my pilgrimage project for my Humanities class. So I have come up with some information that I want to share on what I would do if I were to go on a pilgrimage. Just feel that sense of, I'm really on a journey with God and my church and my faith. Why have people historically visited this pilgrimage site? What are they hoping to get out of the experience? I know that Thomas Becket was made into a saint, that a lot of people on their way to finally be where he is buried, that they go in hopes of having spiritual help from the problems that they have. And that's a lot of what I read about. He was kind of a saint for other pastors and, a saint for other priests, I guess. But it was priests that were in more rural villages. So a priest for more of the common man that were there. So the idea was that he would be there for the people, and that he would be there for the other religious leaders that were seeking someone else out. So I think that people felt like they could rely on him in this journey. Will you take anyone with you? I would take anyone who wanted to go. I think that although a pilgrimage is something personal, that there's also a communal aspect to it, that as you're walking with people and you're all going through the same experience, that you can feel a sense of camaraderie with God, but yourself and those around you that are going through the same hardships. They're going through physically feeling exhausted, spiritually feeling seeking and exploring for a greater meaning, for themselves and for life. And with that, you know that you're not alone, even though you might feel like every step you take, you have to take on your own. Knowing that others are with you, I think can help get you through it. But I think it would be great to go with anybody, friends or family. I would just love to have that experience be one of just true unity with others. What flights will you take to get there? So I looked this up. I saw that the flight that I would be taking would be on a Delta. We would leave on Delta, and it would take, I think the next question too, this will partly answer the next question, which is what season would I travel in? I decided that September seemed like the best time to fly out there, because you're just gone through summer and the ground seems dry. They really said that spring or fall, would be the best. And so I decided September. I think after it starts cooling down, you probably have beautiful colors all around you, still be a little bit warm, but not too cool yet. So yeah, I decided on September. So we would take off September 19th from the Sacramento airport at 4:30. We'd have one layover in Seattle, and then we would arrive at Heathrow at 1:15 the following day. And then we would come back October 4th on Delta from Heathrow at 11:50, a layover in Seattle at 1:37, and then get to Sacramento at 6:28 p.m. Where will you stay? So this journey is 15 days to get to where we need to go, and there are a lot of places that we would need to stay. As we travel each section, there's going to be a new place that we would stay in each city. So we would start out in Winchester, and we would stay at the Winchester Royal Hotel. I thought there was some really cute restaurants there, and I wanted to name off some of them. There is the Black Rat restaurant, and there's also, if we needed supplies, there's also the Sainsbury grocery store. When we travel 10 miles and we get to New Arlesford, we would stay at the Swan Hotel, and we would eat at the Arlesbury Cafe. Most of the hotels that I picked had breakfast included, so it was a meal that I didn't have to worry about. Then we would go another 13 miles to Alton, and we would stay at the Binstead Inn, and they do a full English breakfast, which I thought was fun. And then there's a place called Heaven's Kitchen, and there's also a grocery store if we needed one called Waitrose. We would travel another 10 miles and end up at Farnham. And in Farnham, we'd stay at the Princess Royal and have dinner at the hotel pub. Some of these locations, they were just such small towns, they didn't even really have a restaurant with them. It was just kind of a small little inn that you could have some food at. We would travel another 15 miles to Guildford and stay at the Guildford Harbor Hotel and Spa. I would probably be so tempted to get like a massage or something, but I would definitely need to ask if that would be a good idea as you're having a walk, because that can actually make you feel more sore. We can have breakfast at the hotel, and then there was a funny restaurant to eat at called the Glutton and Glee restaurant there. And then there was also a Guild food market that we could go and get supplies from. Next, we would travel 10 miles and go to Dorking. And at Dorking, we would stay at the Hartsfield Manor. And we could have dinner at the Rooster's Kitchen. we would travel the next day 9 miles to Reigate and stay at the Reigate Manor. And the restaurant there is called Bill's Reigate Restaurant. The next day we're going to travel for a long time. We're going to do 14 miles that day and go to Westerham. And in Westerham we're staying at the bakery and rooms. And it really is just a bunch of rooms that are over a big bakery. And then our local restaurant there was called Napoli. The next day we travel 9 miles and we end up at Rotham, and we're gonna stay at the Bull Hotel in Rotham and eat at George and the Dragon Public House for dinner. We're gonna travel 12 miles the next day and get to Rochester, and at Rochester we'll stay at the Premier Inn at Rochester, and we can eat dinner at the Don Vincenzo. And then we'll travel 12 miles to Thurnham and we'll stay at the Black Horse Inn. Your breakfast and dinner at the Black Horse Inn, and there is a superstore. You can go to Tesco superstore if you needed supplies. The next day we'll travel 11 miles and go to Lenham and stay at the Dog and Bear Hotel, and we can eat dinner at the Square Fish Cafe. And then after that we'll do 11 miles to Wye. We can stay at the Wife of Bath Hotel and eat at the Tickled Trout. Then finally we're gonna do the longest walk of the whole journey, and that'll get us finally to where we are going to end our journey, is 15.5 miles to Canterbury, and there we can stay at the Canterbury Cathedral Lodge, and they also have a restaurant called the Corner House that looked really good. What items do I need to take with me? Obviously a super good pair of walking shoes. Also, I think that we would need one of those big travel backpacks to be able to get all the supplies that I would need. 15 days is a lot of days, so I have to have clothes and things that I could just kind of wash and rinse. I think that you would have to condense and just try to stay clean. Fresh socks. I think socks would be really important. Toiletries would be important. I've always heard that you should take some travel toilet paper. So, because you never know when you're gonna have to go when you're on a pilgrimage. So yeah, just kind of planning for a long journey. That's gonna take about 2 weeks to get through. How long will it take to complete this pilgrimage? 15 days. 15 days it's gonna have, and then I'm added on a 16th day to be able to travel out. And then how much money do you need to save for this pilgrimage? So I added everything up, and the total is $3,263.67. Obviously there would be unexpected amounts, but to kind of expect that it would be around $3,500 to be able to do 2 weeks of travel with all these hotels and food. Yeah, I would expect around $3,500 with the airfare being kind of expensive out to England. What fears or concerns do you have about taking this pilgrimage? I'm worried that I would just get so exhausted right from the beginning that I really wouldn't want to go for the whole thing. I think walking for 15 days is more than I'm used to for sure, and I would definitely need to train for it. Those would be my biggest concerns. I know that I would have a fantastic time, but just being prepared I think would be my biggest worry about being on this journey. But honestly, I don't allow travel to worry me so much, because I know that in the end that, you know, the biggest things that we regret are things that we do not do, not the journeys that we do take, even if they're rocky ones. So I know that it would be a great experience, and I would really look forward to maybe doing this one day. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope that you as well get to partake in a pilgrimage one day. Thanks.